The road disappears into heat shimmer long before the fences appear. A flat ribbon of asphalt cutting through Nevada's emptiest desert, where the wind scrapes across dry lake beds and the sky feels almost too big. And somewhere beyond that horizon, past warning signs that threaten deadly force, past armed patrols that never introduce themselves, past airspace you are legally forbidden to enter, sits a place the US government once insisted did not exist at all. Area 51. A name that sounds like a punchline. A meme. A Halloween costume. And yet for decades it has remained one of the most restricted locations on Earth. No commercial flights pass overhead. No tourists are allowed inside. Workers are flown in on unmarked planes that don't appear on public flight trackers. And nearly everyone who has ever worked there has signed documents promising silence, sometimes for life. If there's nothing to hide, like why all the secrecy? The official story begins not with aliens, but with fear. In the early 1950s, the Cold War was tightening its grip on the world. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a silent standoff, each racing to build weapons, aircraft, and surveillance technology capable of detecting or destroying the other. The US needed a place to test experimental aircraft far from prying eyes, somewhere remote, somewhere isolated, somewhere where mistakes wouldn't be seen or heard. That place became Groom Lake, a dry lakebed first noticed by CIA scientists scanning maps for secrecy and isolation. It was flat, surrounded by mountains, and already owned by the federal government. By 1955, construction began on what would later become known as Area 51, though internally it was referred to by far less dramatic designations. For a while, secrecy worked. Then the skies started betraying them. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, civilians across the American Southwest reported strange aircraft flying higher than anything they'd ever seen. Silver shapes gliding silently at extreme altitudes. Objects that didn't behave like conventional planes. These sightings sparked panic and rumors of extraterrestrial visitors. In reality, many historians agree these sightings were likely the U-2 spy plane. The U-2 flew higher than any known aircraft at the time, well above commercial airliners. When sunlight reflected off its wings at altitude, it could appear otherworldly. The CIA later acknowledged that over half of all UFO reports in the late 1950s could be attributed to U-2 testing. But that explanation came decades later. At the time, the government said nothing. Silence has a way of breeding stories. As aircraft technology advanced, Area 51 remained at the forefront. The A-12 Oxcart, the SR-71 Blackbird, the F-117 stealth fighter, an aircraft so angular and strange-looking that even trained pilots reportedly mistook it for something non-human during early tests. Each program pushed the limits of aerodynamics, materials science, and radar evasion. Each program also fueled the myth, because people could see them, but not understand them. And while the government eventually declassified many of these projects, the timing was always suspicious. Technology revealed only after it was obsolete. Explanations arriving long after the questions had hardened into beliefs. Which brings us to the aliens. The most famous claim tied to Area 51 involves extraterrestrial technology allegedly recovered from crashed spacecraft, most often linked to the 1947 Roswell incident. Officially, Roswell involved a weather balloon. Unofficially, it became the foundation of modern UFO mythology. Some believe wreckage, and even non-human bodies, were transported to Area 51 for analysis. Supporters of this theory point to the base's extreme security, compartmentalization, and secrecy as evidence that something far more extraordinary is being hidden. Critics argue there's no verifiable proof, no confirmed physical evidence, no documents that withstand scrutiny, and no whistleblower testimony that can be independently verified. But that hasn't stopped the stories. In 1989, a man named Bob Lazar went public, claiming he worked at a facility near Area 51 called S4. According to Lazar, his job was to reverse engineer alien spacecraft powered by an unknown element, one he said didn't exist on Earth at the time. Lazar's story was explosive. He described gravity-manipulating engines, antimatter reactors, briefings about extraterrestrial origins. He even led people into the desert to watch test flights he claimed were scheduled in advance. Supporters say Lazar predicted details later confirmed by science, including properties of element 115. Though critics note those properties differ significantly from what Lazar described. Skeptics point to inconsistencies in his education records, employment history, and documentation. Others argue those records were erased intentionally to discredit him. To this day, Lazar remains one of the most divisive figures in UFO culture. Compelling, controversial, unproven. And he's far from alone. Over the years, numerous individuals have claimed to work at or near Area 51. Some describe advanced propulsion research. Others speak of compartmentalized projects so isolated that workers never understood what they were building. What's consistent across many accounts, verified or not, is the presence of strict non-disclosure agreements. Workers describe security clearances layered so deeply that even co-workers rarely knew each other's roles. Violations weren't just grounds for termination, they carried legal consequences. And then there's the underground theory. From the air, Area 51 looks modest. Runways, hangars, support buildings. But some believe what's visible is only a fraction of the facility. The idea of underground levels, sometimes described as dozens of stories deep, has become a core part of the Area 51 mythos. Proponents argue that the desert terrain is ideal for hidden construction, and that classified documents referencing underground military facilities elsewhere support the plausibility. Others suggest these underground spaces house advanced labs, containment areas, or even living quarters for non-human entities. There is no confirmed evidence supporting these claims, but there's also no public record disproving them. Adding fuel to the mystery is the airspace. The restricted zone above Area 51, known as R4808N, is among the most forbidden in the world. Pilots who accidentally stray into it can face severe penalties. Military jets reportedly intercept violators within minutes. Why such extreme protection? Officially, it's to protect classified flight testing. Unofficially, some believe it's to prevent observation of activities far stranger than aircraft. In 2013, the CIA officially acknowledged the existence of Area 51 for the first time through declassified documents. The files confirmed its role in developing spy planes during the Cold War. For many, this was validation. For others, it was only proof that the government admits the truth. Decades late. And what about today? Is Area 51 still active? Satellite imagery suggests it is. Modern images show runway expansions, new hangars, and infrastructure updates. Analysts note continued construction, suggesting ongoing operations. What those operations involve remains classified. Some speculate next-generation drones, hypersonic aircraft, space surveillance systems. Others believe the real work has moved elsewhere. Which brings us to Area 52. While Area 51 dominates pop culture, some researchers point to other sites, like Dugway Proving Ground in Utah or Tonopah Test Range in Nevada, as the true centers of advanced research today. These locations are sometimes informally labeled Area 52, though the term has no official designation. The idea is simple. While the world watches Area 51, the real secrets happen somewhere else. Whether intentional misdirection or coincidence remains debated. What is undeniable is Area 51's impact on culture. It has inspired movies, television shows, video games, books, and music. It has become shorthand for government secrecy and forbidden knowledge. In 2019, a viral joke about storming Area 51 attracted millions online and forced the U.S. Air Force to issue public warnings. The base has transcended its physical reality. It's no longer just a location. It's a symbol of what we fear governments might hide, of how little we sometimes trust official explanations, of humanity's deep desire to believe we are not alone. And perhaps that's the real reason Area 51 fascinates us. Because it sits at the intersection of truth and imagination, of documented history and unanswered questions, of technology so advanced it once looked impossible. Whether Area 51 holds alien spacecraft, secret weapons, or simply the echoes of Cold War paranoia, one thing is certain. The mystery endures not because of what we know, but because of what we don't. And until every file is opened, every silence explained, and every rumor laid to rest, the desert will keep its secrets. If you want to explore what might be hidden next, behind classified doors, unexplained signals, and the edges of human knowledge? Make sure to watch our next video.